Hey, happy Thursday. This is Janelle with Legacy Rose Company. So excited to go live with my friend, Miss Shakara. In just a few minutes, she will be joining us. So for the month of September, we are we were discussing the road to entrepreneurship. We've covered what it's like being in the valley of transition, moving from a place of being an employee to being a business owner. We covered some of the sacrifices that need to be made along this road to transition into being a full time entrepreneur. We talked about some resources and tools that you will need along this journey. We discussed things like accountability, having an accountability partner, finding your tribe. We also talked about mentorship, coaching, business coaching, therapy, whatever it is you need to have in your toolbox as you are on this road to being a full time entrepreneur. So, really excited about this segment, really excited about the information that we shared during the month of September, encouraging other entrepreneurs, others that are on the entrepreneurial journey to be encouraged first and foremost, to share tools and tips that myself and my other friends that have joined me on this segment have used to help transition us from a place of employee to entrepreneur. We discussed finances, we discussed self care, amount so many other things. And today I am so excited because we bring that all full circle as we wrap up on this last day of September, September 30th. We are going to be talking about getting to your place of blessing. And what that really means in translation is getting to your goal of entrepreneurship, of having a thriving, successful business, and what that looks like, what that feels like, and all of the things that surround that. So, my friend Shakara, actually will be joining me shortly, and we'll dive right in. I'm so excited about her. She is a full time entrepreneur. She runs a nonprofit in the city of Detroit, Michigan. And she has been doing that for about 10 years. Actually, this is their 10-year anniversary. And she's had a couple other businesses as well. So I would consider her a serial entrepreneur. And she'll be joining shortly. And so excited to talk about bringing this all full circle, right? You start off with the idea that I want to turn my hobby into a business, or I want to move from this place of being an employee to a entrepreneur. And then you go through the transition process. And today we're just talking about coming full circle, what that looks like, what that feels like, and just living in the moment of your dream realized, right? Getting to your place of blessing and celebrating that. How do you celebrate? What does it feel like? So excited about this today. How's everyone doing out there? And I'm new to going live on StreamYard. This is actually my second time going. So still trying to figure out the comments and all of that. So not sure how to post and do all of that, but we will see. Welcome. Hi, Sheree. Great to see you. So happy that you're here and joining us on this live. Welcome to the room. Happy Thursday. So, as I said, today we're talking about coming full circle, getting to your place of blessing. So, as everyone knows, the road to entrepreneurship is different for each of us. Our journey, even though it may have a lot of similarities, how we get to our endpoint is the twists and turns are different for each and every one of us. But at the end of the day, we're all still trying to get to that same end goal, right? Having a successful and thriving business, building a legacy, right? Something that we can leave for generations to come, and having that time and financial freedom. At the end of the day, we're all striving for the same end goal. And in today's discussion, we're going to talk about getting to that end goal. We're going to talk about getting to your place of blessing, the place where you can truly say that your hard work and sacrifices were all worth it. It was all for this thing that you've been working for, striving for, believing for, sacrificing for, and here you are, coming full circle. All right, I am waiting for Miss Shakara Verdeman, but as I wait for her, we'll dive in and I'll share, my experience with getting to this place. So for me, I am still waiting to get, my business is still in the infancy stage, right? I will still consider it being in the infancy, in maybe even toddler stage. But my initial goal of transitioning from a corporate employee to an entrepreneur has been met. So once I got to that place of this is my last day and I'm stepping into this entrepreneurship realm and taking this by the reins and going full steam ahead, it felt a little different. Actually, it felt a lot different than being in the employee / entrepreneur realm, doing the side business and doing the full-time entrepreneurial employee gig. There was a lot of freedom, right? All of those hours from my 9 to 5, now I could reallocate to my business, to my family. However, I wanted to reallocate it. The doors were wide open. And that freedom felt a little different, right? Like I had to be strategic on how I use my time, how I strategically set up my time so that I can be in productive in my business, right? Welcome, Miss Shakara. So happy that you can join today. How are you?
Hey, good day, good day. So glad and happy to be here with you, Janelle, as well.
Thank Thank you. Good to see you. So
Likewise.
we're talking about, getting to your place of blessing. And I was just sharing, how the road to entrepreneurship is different for us. But at the end, we're all trying to get to that same end goal, right? Of having a successful, thriving business. And I'm so excited to talk to you because you have had more than one businesses that have been successful and even on a new journey right now. So please tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, and what you have going on.
Awesome. Well, I am Shakara Carey, Yvonne Vardaman, the business brand strategist and digital transformation consultant as of this year, working with entrepreneurs to either package, price, position, or promote their businesses, but also lately working with entrepreneurs who are looking to utilize some of the emerging technologies, increase their revenue growth utilizing technology, and just actually creating more efficient business systems so that they can have more time, get more clients, and be happy.
Awesome, awesome. And that's so needed. We see, so many more people are entering the entrepreneurial lane. And as you enter that, you need to know how to position yourself, right? How to brand, position, and market to your target audience. So I love that you offer that service.
Absolutely, Janelle. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I get to tell my clients is no matter what product or service they're offering, they're always in the marketing business. Whatever
Yes.
business you're in, you are in the marketing business, whether it's you giving your personal business card out wherever you go or how you brand and position yourself. You are
Yep.
always trying to create that visibility that so more people can know about you and know about your great business and services that you're offering. So
I
that's
love it. I
key.
love it. I love it. Thanks for sharing. Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to today, we've been going through this entire month of September talking about being in the valley of transition as you're
Yeah.
moving from that employee space to entrepreneurial space. And I'm so excited today because we're bringing it full circle, right?
Oh,
We're
yeah.
at the end of that goal. We're talking about getting to your place of blessing, which is you have transitioned and now you're in the business lane. You're an entrepreneur operating in this space. And I know that I will call you a serial entrepreneur. I don't know if you will call yourself that. But being in that space where you have successfully gotten to that point, I want to ask you, how did you know that you had reached your place of blessing? And what did that look and feel like for you when you got to your end goal of what you set out to create?
Absolutely. Well, yes, serial entrepreneur, I would definitely relate to coming up with ideas and implementing them, getting them started, not just only for myself, but for many people. So, absolutely in the serial lane. But the time that I knew, and that's a great question, Janelle, and I don't even think a lot of people take the time to really reflect on that. But the time that I knew that I was in my place of blessing was when I was truly delivered from people and people's
Mm.
opinions and from having a poverty mindset. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, yeah. A lot of times, what gets in the way of us really being able to blossom and become who we're supposed to be, or even think about, because entrepreneurship is not just, about time freedom, but it's also removing the ceiling so that you can, through your own efforts, create a greater life for yourself and your family. And that actually, the goal of entrepreneurship is profits. And so if you have a poverty mindset, you can't really move into the space or lane of creating and maximizing and asking for the value that you provide a lot of times when it comes to your business products or services. And so that's when I knew I was truly in a place of blessing, when people were no longer in their opinions and what they were thinking was no longer an objective of mine. And when I realized that I created value and I could ask for what it was that I was creating for people. And so that was good. And then in my nonprofit lane, one of the things that allowed me to understand when I was in my place of blessing was when, my paycheck came to me when someone would come up to me, a young person, and say, Miss Vardaman, I like what you're doing here. Can I get your phone number so I can do the same thing? I'm doing something
Mm.
here. Or when a young person would say, I'd like to have a meeting with you, most adults wouldn't even take advantage of that. And so those
Wow.
became wins and paychecks for me, and understanding, and then seeing my clients, seeing my clients
Hmm.
write down their vision, and then through strategy attain the things that they were acquiring. In terms of, one client comes to mind right away, one of my favorite ideal clients, Chef Jeff. We took a time to write out his vision, and he said, I want to write a book, a best-selling book. I want to go on Oprah. I want to own my own, go on TV with my own cooking show, and
Woo.
all these things, and
I
everything
love it. I love
that
it.
he has
I love
done.
when your goals are so big, right? I believe
Yes,
that your goals should be so big that they scare you a little bit, right? So it's that
yes.
that thing to keep pushing you so that you work harder to get to that end goal. I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
and seeing them attain it, has been the biggest blessing for me, and the place of blessing when you're able to assist someone to move into the lane which they're trying to
Yeah.
obtain. And so
So
it's that's
I
that's my place of blessing.
Awesome. I love that you touched on poverty mindset. That is so key, right? When you are moving from a place of employee, a lot of employees are living paycheck to paycheck. And when you
Mm,
jump into the entrepreneur lane, you could end up in a place where you're setting your prices to keep you in that poverty space and not truly capitalize on the value that you're providing in your product, your service, your experience, your education, everything that you're bringing to the table, right? So that poverty
Absolutely.
mindset is really powerful that you touched on there.
And you know, a lot of times, what Janelle, thank you. A lot of times, I operate with the 4 P's when it comes to branding, but there's also 4 P's that I like to share with entrepreneurs. Is, you know, and that's purpose. One of them is purpose. You know, if you don't understand your why or what you're here for or what you're trying to do, I like to think of people coming here, and a lot of times we're problems until we understand or we're an answer for somebody. And so
Yes.
when you come here and understand that you are an answer, and that, you know, there are problems and solutions that you can possibly be an answer to, and then you understand the value that you create, you can make that shift a little bit easier. And so, you know, being able to ask, you know, is, I
Mm.
think, a big barrier and bottleneck and constraint, because for one, in terms of purpose, people don't understand or know what it is that they're here to do and understand the
Whew.
value that they're here to create.
Whew, hallelujah. Yes, that you are a blessing for someone else. You understand that you are an answer for someone, not necessarily doing this for you, right?
Mhm.
You are providing a service, a product for someone else. I love it. I
Absolutely.
love it.
I say
So
you are
your
just
internet is
somebody.
cutting out a little bit on you.
Okay, well, we'll have to fix that a little bit. Can you hear me better now?
I can hear you, but it's not clear, and picture is grainy.
Mm, I see it clearly here. Okay, let's see.
So, when I think about getting to my place of blessing and realizing my goal, moving from that employee to entrepreneur, right? Once I arrived there, for me, it felt freeing, right? And then what did it look like for me? Now I can create my creative, I could think and let my mind just go and think and be creative. That creative part of my brain became activated at 100% for me. And that was a light bulb moment when I realized that I can sit and run an idea all the way through in one setting. I'm not distracted by work emails or all the other things that were in my day previously, right? I could now just allow that creative part of my brain to go to work and just let it be, right? Once I got to that, I reached my first step in the entrepreneurial lane. That was one of the biggest takeaways for me, was being able to, you know, truly tap into that creative spirit and let those creative juices flow. So, Carrie, was it hard for you to admit to yourself that you had arrived? To be fully present in the moment and embrace it fully when you were successful in your first entrepreneurial venture? Was it hard for you to say, I did it? I'm here. This is successful. I'm thriving. I'm profitable.
You know, it was a process. I don't know that I actually took it in or said that to myself, like I have arrived. But I have this picture, and I wish I had sent it to you, where I'm standing on a stage with hundreds of youth in the audience, and I turn around and I take a selfie, and it says, "Whoa," you know. And so I think that picture's worth 1,000 words. But I never actually thought that I have arrived, because honestly, with all the experience I've had and things that I've done, I just really feel like I'm just still getting started in a lot of
Wow.
ways, you know. So meeting those milestone and goals are important. Uh, but the main thing I think about it is to just know that you understand that it's possible, you know.
Yes.
After
Yes.
you keep going through a lot of things, and that leads me to the second P. I told you about those 4 P's I was going to share with you, and that's passion. You know, when
Mhm.
your passion is a lot of times birthed out of pain. It's those pain points and things that you have to continue to pursue and persevere through that allows you to continue to move towards your goal and try to obtain it. And so that passion will allow you to be able to go through things and get through the day-to-day things that could
Mm-hmm.
possibly subdue you, where your to-do list can become your, the biggest part of your day, and you can be undertaken by it. So
Mm-hmm.
without that passion, I think it's not really easy to get to your place of a blessing. You need that passion. You need to be able to have something that allows you to fuel your purpose, and then also allow you to get through the day-to-day things that help you move towards your place of blessing.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that you share that. So, how do you celebrate your small wins along the way? Because I believe that celebrating those small wins are important, right? Not
Absolutely.
only are they important for acknowledgement that you've achieved something, you've checked that huge accomplishment off your to do list, but it also helps to revitalize and encourage and motivate you to keep climbing the ladder to the next thing, right? Oprah
Yeah,
says, do the next right thing.
the next right
So, how
thing.
do you
Yes.
celebrate your small wins along the way?
Well, I think you've been talking to some of my friends, because that is near and dear to my heart. You did somebody that gave you the key, because I believe in celebrating along the way. I make any situation, any opportunity. As a matter of fact, most of the annual retreats for my organization, for our national group, were to around my birthday time. So we'd have business, but we'd have celebration. And throughout the year, not only am I also happy and always celebrating others, but I'm always looking for an opportunity to celebrate along the way, because those small wins are what really help you to realize and move a little bit more closer to your goal and help you to obtain it. So I believe in celebrating along the way.
Yes, I
Absolutely.
love it. I love it. Me too. Me too. Acknowledge those small wins and celebrate along
They're
the way.
important. They're important. It is important.
Yes, I agree. So once you get to your I'm an entrepreneur, this business is now successful and thriving. How do you grow from that place of blessing, from that place of I've achieved my goal? And how do you grow instead of versus just sustaining, right? Because you can get to that point and not flat line, but you just are running the course. You just sustain and maintain. How do you, or how have you in your career as an entrepreneur, maintain the growth in your
All great
organization, in your business?
All great questions, Janelle. You have to continue fueling. To me, you're not as good as your current win, your last win. You're only as good as your last win. So you don't want to get comfortable. You don't want to make your bed there. Because you have reached or obtained a goal. It should actually give you more fuel to actually see bigger and better. And like you said a little earlier, if your goals or dreams don't scare you, you haven't really arrived. You haven't really reached the place, of blessing yet. Because so there's so much more that you can continue to do. I mean, even I thought we were doing well when we had the our youth days down at the corporate convention center for the city of Detroit, and we were hosting like maybe 297 students. Then one year, I'm in LA, and I'm partnering with a local church, and the pastor comes on and he says, "Yeah, we have an organization here that's touching thousands of youth lives." And I almost fell out the chair, and we're partnering with, because I was like, "What thousand?" And don't you know, the following year we had over 1,100 young people in that audience in that particular
Mm,
year. And I thought, wow, I thought we were doing well to have 297. And and then thankfully I had a community partner that was always thinking bigger and larger as well too, so that we could facilitate that phenomenal growth in just one year.
yes.
But the metrics, the way you measure success, like I was thinking we're doing great at 297. I was okay. If we could get 10, 12, 15 people's lives changed, that's fine. But when you start, there's just always room for growth. You
Yes.
don't want to get comfortable, because a lot of times, the dream or the vision that you have, it's you're being a vessel and a conduit of it. And so a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times as a person, you'll stop short in sight of the goal or the bigger vision when it's bigger than you. It's something far greater than you that you're an answer to, or you may be an answer to. And so
Yes.
you don't want to get comfortable. You don't want to, you celebrate along the way, but you still want to say, okay, what's the next right thing for me
Yes.
to be
What is
doing,
the next
be
right thing?
serving? Yeah,
Yes, I love it. I love it. Complacency will not get you anywhere. It will take you down the tubes. I will always say, you do not want to get complacent. Don't get comfortable where you are. If you're not looking to grow, striving to do better, to be better, because there's always room for improvement, right?
absolutely.
Personally, professionally, wherever you are, there's always room for improvement. So I
Mhm.
love what you said. You should always be thinking bigger and larger and going after that. So
And
have you um gotten to a place where you're like, I don't know where to go from here? Have you ever got to that? Where do I take my business? Have you ever just kind of, right? We hear about writer's block. Do you have
mm,
that in business where you're like, I'm no longer inspired or motivated? I'm not sure where to take this company next.
absolutely. And that actually leads to my third P is you have to have patience. You know,
Mm,
oh, you have to have patience. Patience is what you need when things are not going the way you think they should go. When you may get, I've heard of writer's block, but I guess there is a such thing as an entrepreneur's block. Like what am I going to do next? What is the next step? What should I be doing next? And so that's when patience kicks in, because that
mm-hmm.
third P, because sometimes it's a matter of timing. And so
Ooh,
understanding the
yes.
importance of timing and seasons in your life. There's a time and a season for everything. So there's a time to work, there's a time to play, there's a time to, build, there's a time to grow. But I tell you, if you can't get still, which is my last and fourth P, in prayer to something higher, things will always seem bigger than you. And so if
Mm,
in those moments when you don't know what the next right thing is or what you should be doing, that's my fourth P, is that you need to get still sometimes, and then just realize that there's something bigger and taller than you, or life will seem taller than you, and you won't have the strength that you need to be able to move to your next step, or get in
mm.
touch with what that might be, what you're called to be an answer to next. So yeah,
Wow.
you want to be patient, and you want to use the fourth P, prayer, when those times of uncertainty come, or when it seems like things are slowing down. Get still and just kind of, understand that, this might not be the season for that, or this
Mm.
might not be the timing. And so that's a
Whew,
big importance of knowing
whew.
when to be still, and when to keep
Honey, so
moving.
many gems, so many
Yeah.
gems. My goodness. I
Mhm.
love it. I love it. We talked about purpose. We talked about passion. We talk about patience, which honestly, if we can just pause right there,
Yes.
patience. My goodness. My
Yes.
goodness.
Rome
So
wasn't built in a day.
it was not. It was
Mm-mm.
not, right? It was not. But look, for me personally, I always say I'm not the most patient person. And
Mm,
I said that before I had kids. And then I had kids. I have two little girls.
awesome.
And honey, my patience have been tested. And I actually found out that I'm more patient than I thought I was.
Wow.
My impatience comes from like a few key areas. And
Mm,
once I acknowledged and realized that, it was much better, because it's like people, certain things that should not be, it's more of a, come on, we know better, let's do
mhm.
better kind of thing.
Right.
But patience in business is key, because like you said, everything is not always going to go right. It's not always
Right.
going to be a great day. It's not always going to be, sales through the month,
Mhm.
$10,000 month. Sometimes it will be where you're working, and sometimes it will be where you're reaping, right? Sometimes you're sowing, and like we talked about earlier, you're always a marketer in
Yes.
business, whether you're handing out a business card, you're networking, you
Mhm.
always are promoting your business. You're always in that sales position, right? And marketing. And patience will go a long way. So I absolutely agree with you on that. And then your final point about being still, sometimes
Mhm.
that is the answer, right? Just be still, let your creative juices flow, right? Let your creativity just marinate and come forth and birth that next right thing that you're supposed to do and walk into. So
Absolutely.
I love
One
it.
time I found myself in a day that I had so many clients and things to do, and I just didn't know how to get started. And in the middle of the day, I took a bath. And you know what? I took a bath. I took a bath. I took a long bath. And after I got out of that bath, I had everything that I needed to move forward and move those projects forward. Ideas started flowing to me, things started coming to me. So sometimes getting still just might mean taking a bath
Yep. Yep.
in the
Sometimes
middle of the
your brain just needs a moment sometimes, right? Because we have
day.
so much on our plate, so many things we're trying to do all at the same time,
And guess
you know.
what? I didn't have to board a plane or buy a ticket. It was readily available for me right there.
Exactly, exactly. But that brings up the self-care part, right? And we've talked
Yes.
about that so many times over the course of this month of September. We're talking about being in the valley of transition, what that looks like. Self-care keeps coming back over and over, which only speaks to
Absolutely.
how important that is, right? Having self-care, knowing what to do for self-care for you, because for
Yes.
everyone that will be different, right?
Right.
Knowing what your non-negotiables are.
Mm-hmm.
I can give here. Sometimes you have to say no. In addition to being still, sometimes you have to say no to some events, some people. I need time to figure some things out. I just need to be still. I need
Yes.
some quiet.
No is a complete sentence. That's what I learned.
Oh, how yes,
It is
yes.
a complete sentence. So, what one of the things I wanted to share too was that with that being still aspect is that a lot of times we think because of the busyness of life and a lot of the distractions, we can get caught up with those things, and we're thinking that sometimes that uh, doing something means that we're being productive. So a lot of
Mm.
times taking that time out, busyness doesn't necessarily mean that you are being productive. So that's another important reason for you to take some time out to just be still, so
Awesome, awesome. I love
that
it.
you're
I
not
love it. I
wasting your
love it.
time.
All right. Well, I think we have hit on so many great points today, talking about getting to your place of blessing, getting to that self actualization in terms of your business. You start off with the idea, you went through the process in the valley of transition, and now you're at the point where you are a full-time entrepreneur. What that looks like, what that feels like, tapping into your purpose, your passion, dealing with patience, knowing
Yes.
that sometimes you have to be still.
Mhm.
And my takeaway today, which I'm going to use with your permission, no is a complete sentence.
Yes,
Sometimes
absolutely.
saying no is your best friend. No is a complete sentence. I'll try it on my kids. I don't it usually doesn't work.
Well, it doesn't really work on children. They're pretty persistent. They have minds of
You,
their
you
own.
know, I need some of their persistence
But I
in
will
business and in
say
life.
that without purpose, I jotted a couple of things I wanted to definitely share with the audience that is listening and those who may listen in on a little at a later time is that without purpose, the day-to-day stuff will crush you. Without passion, your problems will overwhelm you. And without patience, the little things will eat away at you. And without prayer, life seems to be bigger than you. So we need those 4 P's as well.
All right. All right. Busy does not mean productive. Thank
No.
you, Roseanne, for sharing that in the chat. I love it. Without purpose, the day to day will crush you. Oh, my goodness, Carrie, another great gem. I have to post that into the chat right quick. Love it, love it, love it. So as we wrap up today, I am Janelle Hurst with Legacy Rose Company. We
Mhm.
provide short-term rentals in the Carolinas, specifically Charlotte and surrounding areas. Also do management for your Airbnb and property management consulting. And I am here with Miss Shakara talking about getting to your entrepreneurship successfully and what that looks and feels like. Please give an outro and a last tip as we sign off today, Miss Carrie.
Awesome. Well, just remembering that we spoke about it, but everything is a process. Life is a process. Your business is going to be a process, and so a lot of times we want things quick, fast, and in a hurry. Most of my businesses didn't, it didn't. The ones that didn't take the most money, again, we spoke about that, brought in the most income. The ones that did made the biggest return and reward and got me to my greatest place of blessing didn't happen overnight. It took time. And so one of the things that I want to leave you with is that as you either decide on making the decision to transition, or while you're transitioning through that valley of transition, be kind to yourself, allow the time it takes to be able to give yourself a plan, and to be able
Mhm.
to really understand what your vision is, and
Yes.
what it is. And then I like everyone to walk away from this conversation realizing or asking themselves, am I the problem, or am I the answer in this situation?
Mm.
And when you realize that you have been here and you're here for a purpose, and you're here as an answer to somebody's problem, that might help.
You walk a little different, right? You
A
hold
little
your head
different,
a little
stand a little
higher.
taller, operate
Yes,
a
you
little
stand a little
stronger.
taller. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining, for sharing, for your words of encouragement and inspiration. I hope it blesses someone else. My outro, I'm going to end with what Roseanne shared in the chat. She said, block off time for specific tasks and
Yes.
walk away.
I
I
love it.
love that.
I
It
love
gives
it.
you less time to procrastinate. Block off time for specific tasks. When that time is over, walk away. So
Yeah,
you don't
because you know what?
procrastinate. You're more intentional and using your time wisely. I love it. I love it.
I
Thanks
think
again. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
just to her point, Rosetta's point, because a lot of times we think we manage time. We don't manage time, we manage tasks. So you have to
Yes.
block off time. So I like
Yep.
her point. Thank you, Rosetta, for sharing.
Yep. Thank you, Roseanne. Thanks everyone that joined us. Others that will be looking at this later. Hope you find some encouragement
Yeah.
and inspiration in this segment. Talk to you later.
Thank you for
For
having
if
me,
you guys want
Janelle.
to reach out to Carrie or myself, we are on social media. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram at Legacy Rose Company. And Carrie, how can people get in touch with you?
Also on Instagram and Facebook, I'm at Carrie Can Help You. And then on LinkedIn, it's Shakara Carrie Yvonne Vardaman.
Awesome,
Reach
awesome,
out, feel
awesome.
free.
Thanks so much. Love it.
Thank
And
you for
we will,
having me, Janelle. And thanks for
you
the
are
great
so
question.
welcome, my friend. You are so welcome. Until next time, have a great day.
Absolutely. You as well. Bye for
Bye
now.
bye.